There's only a certain number of ways to be a lizardMichael. Patricia, FogdenMinden, PicturesFLPA by Bob Holmes. Many seemingly different species actually live very similar lives. This convergence suggests that it may someday be possible to predict how many species live in a particular habitat, and even to identify the holes left by missing species. For more than half a century, ecologists have tended to describe ecological roles, or niches, as though they were properties of individual species. For example, chameleons are camouflaged, tree-dwelling lizards that ambush insects, while horned lizards are ground-dwelling desert creatures that eat ants and bear protective spines. The diversity can seem overwhelming. But Eric Bianca, an evolutionary ecologist at the University of Texas in Austin, has long wondered whether there might only be a certain, limited set of niches. Advertisement to test the idea, Bianca and his colleague Lori Vitt at the University of Oklahoma decided to pool their decades of experience studying lizards in the field. Our entire life, basically, has been going out and collecting data on lizards, says Vitt. So we have a huge data set. The pair looked at 134 species on 4 continents. For each one, they examined more than 50 features of their niches, such as habitat type, hunting style, reproductive output and defenses against predators. Then, with colleagues, they crunched the numbers. Over and over, they saw pairs of unrelated lizards converge on similar niches. Out of the 134 species, 100 belonged to a convergent pair, far more than could have happened by chance. For example, African chameleons have ecological equivalents in the Americas called bush anoles, and Australia's thorny devil fills almost precisely the same niche as North America's horned lizards. If lizards could evolve into an unlimited number of niches, this convergence would be unlikely. Instead, their result suggests that lizards are constrained to live particular lifestyles. For instance, there are no marine lizards or lizards that behave like elephants. There's only a certain number of ways to be a lizard, says Bianca. Laws of nature. This is beautiful, says evolutionary biologist George McGee at Rutgers University in New Jersey. It's astonishing the number of species that have converged into ecological roles. Ecologists could apply the same approach to other groups, like birds or rodents. However, each group is likely to have its own unique set of niche features. For example, many birds make long migrations, and some rodents hibernate, which would complicate the analysis, says Bianca. The limited number of niches implies that ecologists may someday be able to construct a table of niches, somewhat analogous to chemistry's periodic table of elements. If we constructed this table, and we thought it was fairly complete, then we could go into places and look at the structure of the habitat, the temperatures and so on, and say this place ought to be able to support 10 species of lizards, says Vitt. Ecologists could then predict far more about the natural world than they can today. Moreover, such a table would highlight empty niches where species ought to occur but do not. These gaps could point to niches that were once filled by a species that has died out, but so recently that evolution has not yet refilled the niche, says Vitt. However, the findings do not necessarily mean that extinct species can be easily replaced by their ecological equivalents, says Vitt. Such plug-and-play replacements have been attempted on Indian Ocean islands, where giant tortoises wiped out by human activity have been substituted by tortoises from other islands. The problem is, even if the new species fills the same niche, it may respond differently to competitors, predators and prey, leading to unpredictable changes in the ecosystem. Journal reference American Naturalist, DOI 10.1086693781. More on these topics.